Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is my top 10. It is right over there. And, and I'm going to break down why I got them where and why and all that jazz because I know it's very likely going to be a little bit different. I know it's different from the AP, but nonetheless, let's dive into it. But before we do, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any Big Ten coverage. Yeah, we're narrowing it all the way down to the Big Ten because I like watching the Big Ten more. I really do. And so we're going to focus more on the Big Ten. Give me a Northwestern versus Purdue over Kentucky and Florida every single day of the week. In my opinion. Get a different one, then, it is what it is. Free country. Oh, well, if you're watching this in America. Anywhere else, I guess at your own peril, I guess. But anyway, nonetheless, let's dive into it. So, I mean, quite honestly, the number one team, and it's not even close, is Ohio State. They have not tripped up. They have not looked. They have not shown any signs of being human this year. When you have the defense, you have three guys in uh you have three guys that would be the best player on their team on every other single team in the country. And then on offense, you have Julian Sane, who's having an insane season. What is it, 80% completion? I mean, just utterly and completely insane numbers. And then, of course, you have the human freak himself, Jeremiah Smith, and the best number 2 wide receiver, who would be a number 1 anywhere else in the country, in Cornell Tate. I mean, call me a homer, and I do love my state so very, very much. But we have to be honest here. If you have anybody other than Ohio State at number 1, you have lost your ever-loving mind. And you can sit here and say, oh, well, we don't know what they're going to do when the pressure's on. What if we never see it? What if they just bowl over everybody? Because they can. Because they will. I mean, it is absolutely, like, this team is so much, at least from a dominance perspective, so much like the 1950. Oh boy, my knowledge here. This is why I should probably exclusively cover the Big Ten. But this team is so akin to the 1968 Ohio State National Championship winning team. Like they were saying that the only offense that could move on this Buckeye defense was the Buckeye offense, and the only Buckeye offense, or the only team that defense that can slow down the Buckeye offense, is the Buckeye defense. Like, this team is this team, should they go on and win the national championship, they are hands down the greatest team ever assembled. No question about it. And that is a hard that for me, that's a hard title to get to, because of that 2020 Alabama team that I think is, as of right now, the greatest national championship team ever put together. I would say that 2020 Alabama team, the 2023 the 2023 Michigan team, and then the 2019 LSU team. Those are my top. Actually, I'm going to do a top 10. I'm going to save that for the offseason, because I'm going to try to cover college football all year round. I'm going to try. I'm not saying I'm going to be as good as Josh Pate, but I'm going to try to cover college football and Big Ten football all year round. And I'm gonna just try to find fun stories throughout the off season to find. But anyway, nonetheless, back to it. Uh, it like this team is quite frankly unstoppable. Um, their weak point is their running game, and Bo Jackson, their number one running back, is averaging 6.5 yards a carry. C.J. Donaldson, their bruiser, he's got 9 touchdowns. And then on top of that, you have a couple others, that could be filling in the backup role. But anyway, and then obviously Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, as I mentioned, they're already sitting at 65 catches, 39 catches, 862, 711, 10-7 touchdown wise. I mean, this team's like this is turning on forced trades in Madden. Like Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Cale Downs, three of the best defenders in college football, and they're all on the same team. I mean, my God, how do you beat this team? Because this team, I think they can win a game in a phone booth against Michigan. I mean, they're gonna be it'd be close and it wouldn't be ideal, but I think this team can go into that phone booth with Michigan and beat them. Now, granted, I would prefer not to try to find out if they can. I'd rather Ohio State stick to their normal game plan. But I mean, they are so great that they're already looking ahead to the college football playoffs with the way that they play. The slow, methodical offenses. They're taking games off, 2 games of wear and tear off play wise compared to everybody else in the country. And that's not even including when they pull their starters because they're up by a bajillion points in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And then number 2, I have Texas A&M. Now, everybody's going to go all up in arms about maybe Indiana should be at 2. I mean, the margin between A&M and Indiana is so unbelievably close that I I'm fine either way. I mean, it is that close. Now, obviously, in my ranking, 1 and 3, they're likely going to work each other out, and whoever wins the Big Ten title game will be the number 1 team in the country going into the playoffs. But Texas A&M, Mike Elko, that defense, that offense, they've blown me away. And when I watched a little bit of them play against Notre Dame, and I know how good Notre Dame is, and I knew at the time how good Notre Dame was and is this season. Like, yeah, they got a different quarterback, but I think CJ Carr is gonna be he's gonna be he could be a Heisman Trophy winner by the time he steps out of South Bend and into the NFL. And I mean, they won by 1. They beat a very good team on the road, and that like and people began question me after that video, like, oh, it's A&M, and I'm like, hey, I think they're legit. And here we are. We're in November, and we're seeing that they're they're awfully legit. They're pretty good. Last week they just stomped Missouri, and I know Missouri's on their backup quarterback, and I predicted that A&M was gonna just plow through them, but or that A&M was just going to plow through Missouri like they were nothing, and that's exactly what happened. And they got South Carolina and Stanford on the horizon, and then they got Texas. So all the stars are lined up. They got one important game left under the lights in Austin, which we'll be talking about good old Texas here in a few minutes. But I mean, Marcel Reed has been he's been good for most of the season. Um, he's or is it 62%, so a little around the average range, but how it can't express how good he is from a dynamic standpoint. 2,100 yards through the air, 19 touchdowns, 6 picks, only 7 sacks. Only 7 sacks, and it's through what, 9 games? Like, for somebody who runs around with the ball like he can, to only have 7 sacks is a real testament uh to just how poised he is in the pocket. And then you have the running backs, just absolute studs. Reuben Owens the second, 91 carries, 542 yards, 5 touchdowns. And Le'Veon Moss, 70 carries, 5.6 yards on average, with 6 touchdowns. And then again you have Marcel Reed, 69 carries, 378 with a 5.5 average and 6 touchdowns. I mean, this team is absolutely every bit of legit as I thought they were. So, moving on to good old Indiana. Now, some people are going to say I got them underrated and this and that. And, oh, I'm just punishing them for beating for beating Penn State on the road in a tight one. And it's not so much that. I mean, what Indiana did Saturday was nothing short of impressive. Uh, Going to Happy Valley is a huge deal, and beating Penn State there is a huge deal. And when your back's against the wall in state college, and you're the team in white, yeah, that's a daunting task. And Fernando Mendoza stood up to the challenge, along with along with the with Omar Cooper Jr. and who else was it? I just gotta find his. I just gotta find his name. Charlie Becker. Charlie Becker. He stepped up to the plate big time. He had 7 catches in that game. I mean, Indiana. They truly do not have a weak spot. I think they're top 10. They're in the top 10 in passing and in passing yards, rushing yards, points. They got a top 10 defense. I mean, they are every bit of a complete team as Ohio State and as Texas A&M, and at a fraction of the budget. So yeah, I mean, Indiana's got everything in front of them. They can easily get up to that number 1 slot from the Big Ten title game, but we'll have to wait and see. Number 4, Alabama. So this is where the first kind of gap formed between teams. I think Ohio State, A&M, and Indiana are like boom, boom, boom. Like, you can put them in any slot that you want. But Alabama and Oregon are they're pretty much you can flip flop them. I think it's that close between the two. Um, Alabama, they're a different team when they can't run the ball, and they were able to do it with Jam Miller against Georgia. They weren't able to do it as well. They weren't able to do it Saturday night against LSU. Now LSU came out much more inspired than I thought they would, and that inspiration lasted longer than I thought it would. And all credit to LSU on that. But Alabama should have absolutely decimated this team. And yeah, I'm not really punishing them as much as I probably should, but I do recognize that Ty Simpson is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He's right up there with Julian Sain, Marcel Reed, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson. He's right up there with that class. He's going to be in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Whether he gets it or not, we'll find out coming down the stretch. And then they also have three tremendous wide receivers in Ryan Walker, Isaiah Horton, and uh who's he? Oh, his name escapes me off the top of my dome. Really need to have that screen up. Oh goodness gracious! I need a nap. I need an absolute nap. Jermaine Bernard and they their wide receiver room is just as deep as Ohio State's. Their rushing game, like I said last Saturday night, wasn't wasn't good. It wasn't good. So it does give me cause to pause. Do have some concerns with the running game. However, that passing attack is just out of this world. Number 5, obviously I have Oregon. I mean, Alabama, Oregon, and Texas Tech really are so close to each other that it ain't funny. I mean, it's really spread between pretty much 5 groups. You have the elite of the elite, Ohio State, A&M, Indiana. Then you have the elite that stubbed their toe in Alabama, Oregon, Texas Tech. And then you have the SEC that I don't quite trust in Ole Miss and Georgia. And then you have the teams that then you have Notre Dame, who is really good, but they got 2 losses. Then you have Texas, who is finally beginning to find themselves. And we will definitely find out if they found themselves this weekend. But anyway, back to Oregon. Their winning Kinnick was absolutely incredible. It's pouring down rain. They got to drive most of the field. They got to do it against this Iowa defense. And this Iowa team is no joke. As much as the AP absolutely despises them, this Iowa team is absolutely no joke. I mean, for goodness sake, their losses are to Indiana, Oregon, and a healthy Iowa State. I mean, uh, and I think they lost by a combined total of what was it? They lost by 5 to Indiana. They lost by 3 yesterday, or they lost by 2 yesterday. They lost by 2 yesterday, and then they lost by 3 to Iowa State. So they have lost by a grand total of 10 points. And Oregon, they were able to go into Kinnick, as I've dubbed, the place where top 10 teams go to die, and they were able to survive. So, big kudos to Oregon. Dante Moore, he was fabulous. Whittingham lit it up, had himself a game. And I mean, this was just the old-fashioned rough and tough Big Ten football game that Oregon was able to play and hang with. All right, Texas Tech. Yes, they stubbed their toe in Tempe against the Sun Devils, against the healthy Sun Devils, healthier Sun Devils than what they are now. And, you know, it happens. There's no need to kill a team for that. It happens. I'm not going to fault them for it. Texas Tech, they are the Big 12 team that is nationally good. They have a top, they have a, they have, they have like the top, they have a top 5 offense, a top 15 defense. I mean, this team is good, and if they catch fire coming down the stretch after the Big 12 title game, look out. The Red Raiders will raid. Ole Miss. I have them over Georgia. I get Georgia has the head-to-head over Ole Miss, but I I see Georgia as just like they're like SEC good, not nationally good. But the SEC is the best. Stop it. Stop it. Ole Miss and Georgia. Honestly, the only reason why those two are ahead of Notre Dame is because they only have one loss. And Georgia, if the refs didn't have their head up their keisters um, against Auburn, it'd be a different tune. If Ole Miss would have been able to hold on and not completely crumble in Sanford against Georgia, it'd be a totally different tune. But I like Chambliss and I like Lane Kiffin a lot more than I like Gunnar Stockton and Kirby Smart. I mean, one of my big contentions with Kirby Smart and why I'm leaving that particular camp of fandom is because Georgia or Kirby Smart, he hires his friends. He doesn't hire the best guy. You look at Ryan Day. He hired the best guy out there to run the defense. Oh boy, was that a hell of a hire. I mean, Matt Patricia, he better win the assistant coach of the year award because I mean he has turned this defense from A plus to A plus plus plus, just uberly dominant. Like, and it's not particularly close. And then Notre Dame and Texas. Uh, Notre Dame, I mean, they're just an insanely good team that just that didn't get out of the blocks well at all. And luckily for them, USC, they're doing a lot better than what many expected. And so that gives them a little bit of meat on the bone in their schedule. Plus, they're going to get the tie every single time when it comes to ranking teams. But I genuinely believe that Notre Dame they are a legit national title contender. Texas, we'll find out this weekend against Georgia. I think Arch Manning is beginning to figure it out. They are finding themselves. They got last weekend off to lick their wounds and to really be healthy. They're going into Sanford, but like I said, they're coming off a bye. You have a smart coach like Steve Sarkisian the bye week and an extra week to prepare for Georgia, who this year they have not gotten out of the blocks great in almost every single game that they've played. Outside of last Saturday and against Kentucky. And even against Mississippi State, they stumbled a little bit out of the gates. And I'm already hearing the SEC homers say, "Oh, that's the Georgia we all know and love." Well, it's against Mississippi State. They have one SEC win over the past 2 years. For God's sake. Let's not read too much into that. So, and then Texas, I think they found themselves. I really do. So, I'll break down that game later on in the week. But that is my top 10. Let me know, who is your top 10? How close are you to my list? Let me know down in the comments. We'll see you in the next one.